Hello everyone, I am Chris Aurelius with the EDM Nightlife Show. I am in the studio with a legend. This guy's opened up a lot of clubs in Las Vegas, makes great music, spinning all over the world, none other than Jose 2 Hype. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, man.
You know what, I remember moving here back in the day, and this was about 12 years ago, and I was actually able to get a guest spot at Studio 54, which was one of the clubs that you were playing at. And when I saw you for the first time, I was blown away. I mean, you are a master turntablist, amazing music. I mean, tell me about it. How did you get started in this whole electronic scene, and what brought you to Vegas?
Well, you know, it kind of started back like in 89, 90. I actually moved here from California, and I kind of got into the techno scene starting around 91. I was introduced to it and by friends in Chicago, and met up with a couple friends here in Las Vegas. Went to a couple of pseudo raves. They weren't quite raves yet, but this is like 91, and it kind of progressed and went into the whole rave scene. And actually the first real rave was called Heaven, and I can't remember what hotel it was in. It was in one of those ballrooms, I guess, and actually Mike Fuller, it was one of Mike Fuller's events, and that was my first real rave that I went to and that I, you know, enjoyed and stuff. And after that, man, I mean, we just started DJing, you know, gigs. We were gigging here, and we were doing like at least two gigs literally a week, including after hours and stuff. And I would say the whole year of 92 was like the golden era of raves here in Las Vegas. We had people come out from LA, you know, DJ Dan, before he was really known. I mean, there was just so many people that I can't remember. I mean, it was a while ago, but that was my first introduction to the true EDM, and I would say, you know, it was just a great experience. You know, back in those days, it was really cool. Very family. It was like a big family. Everybody knew each other. We were there for the music, and it was awesome.
How old were you when you actually bought your first, you know, pair of turntables? I mean, you have a lot of great skill. It must have taken you a little while to learn this. I mean, how old were you when you know, really started getting into that?
Well, you know, it's funny that you mention that. I think my first turntable, I bought them in the latter half of the 80s. A friend of mine in Chicago, his name is Jesse Morales. He's the one that actually taught me how to scratch and, you know, do the turntable tricks and stuff like that. And actually, I should mention that I did do a few DJ battles. First one I got third place, and I think the last one I did get first place. It was at a Record Systems DJ battle. But yeah, we used to do those things too back in the day, where, you know, we had the balls to do that stuff. You know, nowadays, you know, a DJ battle is, I guess, who can spin the most and who can get on the mic the most, the best, and you know, create the best interaction with the crowd. But you know, that's just something that's changed a lot, you know, over the years. So.
And I definitely am going to get back into that in a little bit. But you know, when I saw you at Studio 54, you were playing a lot of energetic hard house music, which was the thing back in the day over here. You know, how did you get involved with that hard house? And you were actually making a lot of that music yourself as well, and you got an amazing amount of records here on your wall, and a lot of it's hard house. What got you into that genre?
Well, if you remember back in the 92 era, I mean, it was pretty hard. You know, some pretty good Hoover sounds, and you know, throbbing 808s and 909s and stuff like that. Bass lines from like the Juno 106, which I have behind me. But it kind of evolved after the rave scene kind of died down in 93, I guess I can say. Around 94, there was a new resurgence of a rave scene within the Latinos here, and they would call it like the rebel scene, I guess, you know. And that is actually where I was motivated to start producing, and produced my first hard house record, which is, I guess, a Latino house record, which is actually that red record up there. If you guys have get a shot of that later. But that was actually on Power Tools, or actually no, take that back. It was on Power 106, and it made Record of the Week. And Richard Vision actually introduced that record, and it was one of those things that I'm kind of proud of. I'm really proud of it. But just a little history behind that. But that was that's what got me started with the hard house, and I went ahead and did a few more records on my own label, which is 2 Hype Records, and got signed on to Underground Construction in Chicago, which is a very well-respected label, hard house label at that time. I mean, it just took off from there.
You are producing a lot of music, a lot of great music. Do you have a preference when it comes to what software you use? You got these great, vintage keyboards. I mean, what do you think is more important? Inboard gear, outboard gear? Do you think it really makes a difference?
Yeah, the outboard gear, I really enjoy the warmth and the analog sound of these synths, and there's some people that say, well, I have this in my computer. Well, yeah, but it varies. I mean, you still, they haven't perfected it 100% yet, but it's close. But it's just one of those things that, you deal with. Plus, it depends on your audio card. If you have a good audio card, then you probably do have a true representation of what the synth was. But if not, if you're just using the audio from your laptop, it's gonna degrade. So that's just my personal opinion on that.
And I've been DJing in Vegas for 12 years, and you have seen this music scene come and go through all different types of, variations and just different genres of music. Hard house started dying down here in town. It started going a little bit slower to the house. What do you think about nowadays when there's so much commercial business going on with the electronic music scene?
Like I mentioned before, the scene was really about the music and about, socializing with your friends, and you went because you know that your favorite DJ was playing, and he was playing the tunes that you really loved. It was underground, and you just didn't want to hear what the radio fed you, because it is somewhat of a brainwash. Corporations own the radio stations, and they feed you what they want you to buy, and that's what they play. But as far as the nightclub scene, yeah, it has definitely evolved, and we were trendsetters back in the earlier days, and now it's about doing what the other guy does: cookie cutter nightclubs, and let's sell these bottles. Who cares about the music, and who cares about anything that has to do other than making the bottom line and money? And it's sad. And there's a lot of talent here in town. There's a lot as far as DJs go, but they would prefer to spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars on these big name DJs, which is fine. I mean, we are in Vegas, and it is justified. But on that same token, let's give a little respect to the guys that actually do the groundwork and are actually trend setting, as far as, locally goes,
I was always happy to catch one of your sets because I knew that you were going to be playing amazing music and you were going to have great skills. I mean, you can't beat that, especially when I go to a club. That's what I'm there for. I'm there for the music and the DJs, And nowadays, it seems like it's all about the YouTube sensations. 100 million hits, they're the ones that are be playing in the clubs, the main clubs, even though they do not have this knowledge that you do, that you've learned throughout all these years. Do you think that's going to be, do you think it's going to continue like that? Or do you think that maybe everybody's going to want to go back to actually getting a DJ who has real skill rather than just some, artist who opened up a box and starts making beats?
As everything progresses, including technology, at first it's something that it's a good thing, I mean, we all have to progress and move forward. But on that same token, there is software out there, DJ software, that have cheat screens, and unfortunately, this has been a disadvantage to true artists or DJs that have learned how to DJ truthfully, I guess, with just beat matching without having to use that cheat screen. Of course, I'm not going to name any names, but there are a number of DJs here in town, and if they didn't have that cheat screen, they would be lost.
So I have to ask you, how did you think of this name, Jose 2 Hype?
Well, it's kind of going back to the same person that taught me how to DJ. My friend Jesse, he actually, like I mentioned before, he showed me how to scratch and kind of gave me the basis of DJing. But he named me, he coined that name, Jose 2 Hype. It's one of those Chicago format DJ names, you know, that are common there. For example, Bad Boy Bill, you know, Too Cold Chris, you know, Julian Jumpin' Perez. So that's pretty much where it came from, and it stuck.
When it comes to DJing, do you have anything that you prefer to use? I mean, I know you're a vinyl junkie. I mean, do you still play vinyl? I know a lot of places that you go, you know, in town, you're not going to even see turntables in these DJ booths anymore. What would you prefer when you're actually mixing?
Well, I mean, obviously I prefer vinyl because number one, you're sending a message that you are a true DJ and you are a true mixologist. But, you know, as I mentioned before, you know, technology progresses and obviously you progress with it. I use Serato, and I don't use the cheat screen, but I can say that I have used it once when I lost my monitor. So that does work. I mean, it does help, and you lose your monitor or something happens, and you know, that's a convenience. But on the other token, you know, you have people that rely on that screen. So, and to me, I don't find that too, you know, I don't find it too respectful, you know, I guess you can say, to the industry.
Do you burn CDs at all? Do you actually like take just like, you know, a case of CDs and say, hey, I'm ready to go?
You know, I've never really been one of those CD DJs. However, with the new record crate software and the USB where you can stick it in the CDJs 2000s, I really do dig that. And that you do not have a cheat screen. You do need to actually mix, you know, beat sync and everything. So, you know, that's one of the things that I do enjoy as well. Forgot to mention.
And, you know, they have these new Pioneers coming out now where it does have an internal, or it does have a synchronization button on there. Do you think we're going to be seeing Paris Hilton more in the clubs now because of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of goes hand in hand with the cheat screen. And, you know, I didn't want to say anything about, you know, the ladies out there, but, you know, I would say that some percentage of them are kind of relying on that screen as well. And, you know, it's sad that people that have dated somebody famous, you know, or have become a big name somehow or celebrity, use that to their advantage in the industry. But on this, you know, I guess, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, as far as DJing goes and as far as the industry, I guess the music behind it, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, I guess.
So we are in your studio. This is where the creativity happens. Tell me about all this great outboard gear.
Well, here, let me show you. Actually, this is a Moog Little Fatty, and this has been out for a few years now. It's one of those electro, I guess, staples that people use. This Juno 106 I've had for, I don't know, like 15 or 10, I don't know how many years. But this is one of the original EDM synths, you can say. It's really, really known worldwide. It's just a controller down here. But actually my favorite synth is right behind that door right there, and that's a Virus TI Polar. And that thing is awesome. I mean, it just rocks. I use that in, I would say, 80 to 90% of all my productions. It's really, really cool.
And you said you are using this a lot on a lot of your production. Tell me, what do you have in the works? I know you got some cool stuff coming up.
Well, actually, I just released, believe it or not, kind of going off on a little tangent, but I released a chill out album, and it's my second. The first one I released about a year and a half ago, and it's been getting some rotation on DMX. So, you know, you go to your shopping or wherever, you know, and you might be listening to, you know, some of my productions. And I just released another one and used some vocals from local native Las Vegan, Madeline Feller. I don't know if you've probably met her before. I got a lot of feedback that her voice is reminiscent of the old Ohm records and from the Naked Records type deal, and that's kind of like what we were shooting at. So, you know, I'm really happy to have her on, you know, as far as that goes. On that same token, I'm really open to anybody sending any demo material to us, you know, and for possible release, you know, producers, even vocalists or whatnot. So I'm always open to that.
So I know that you've been in this town for a long time. You started DJing at the raves and then moved into the club scene. And I know you've had a numerous amount of residencies in this town. Please tell me about those.
Yeah, in 1998, I actually gained residency at Studio 54, and I was there for 7 years. And very groundbreaking and trend-setting at the time. After that, moved over to Taboo Ultra Lounge inside the MGM Grand as well, and was music director and resident there as well. After that, went to Eve Nightclub, Chateau Nightclub, and Blue Martini. I'd also like to mention that before that, I did do a number of guest spots at, for example, Utopia. I'm not sure if I did SRO or not. I think I did. There's just a lot of places I can't even remember. There are a couple of more memorable moments that I've had in my career, and one of them was actually going to a conference in Chicago and driving through town, and on the radio, just listening to the radio, one of my songs come on, and it was just such an amazing feeling of accomplishment, and just being so proud of that I'm even experiencing this, and it was just so cool. On that same token, another moment was I went to go visit DJ Henry over at the Dome in Florentine Gardens in Hollywood. I hadn't even gone up to visit him up to the DJ booth, and he drops my song. I don't know if he's seen me, or maybe I know it was one of those songs that everybody was playing anyway, but it was just so amazing to see everybody stomping their feet and just really enjoying my song. It was just one of those feelings that you get chills, and just awesome.
From all the venues that you got to play at, Vegas, outside of Vegas, were there some artists that you really had a great time to actually get to DJ with? I mean, who did you get to share the turntables with that you really like?
Well, the list is really long, but people that stand out are Carl Cox, Dave Morales, Robbie Rivera. Oh, wow. Just a long list.
So I know you mentioned earlier about these chill-out albums that you made. I know that's not your main focus when it comes to these genres of electronic music. What else are you working on that you're going to have coming up in the near future?
Well, as you know, I mean, our label, 2 Hype Records, we're known for our techno and our tribal and electro and whatnot. But, we do have some really cool stuff coming out soon. I'm actually working on a remix right now for an artist, and it does have some trap, electro, or dubstep, I guess you can call it. I guess trap is a new word nowadays.
All right, and now for all the computer kids out there, where can we check you out online? What are your websites?
Well, actually, if you want to check out any of our releases, just go to Beatport, Wasabeat, Juno, DJ Download, iTunes. I mean, you can go to any of these places and look up 2 Hype Records or Jose 2 Hype. We're up to our 51st release right now as of this day. And also, if you want to check us out online, you can go to jose2hype.com, which I need to update, so you'll have to forgive me on that. But facebook.com, Jose2hype, and Twitter at Jose2hype.
Jose 2 Hype, thank you so much for the interview. Great studio. I cannot wait to see what you have coming up. Check out all of his sites. You're going to hear brilliant music from a very talented man. My name's Chris Aurelius with the EDM Nightlife Show. We'll see you guys again soon. Keep it locked.